Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! First story, entitled Mom Omnibus. Chapter 1. The Sitting Local Coffee Shop. One afternoon after our mommy and me yoga class. I know, sounds dumb, but a great way to meet mommy friends. Me and my baby decided to get a coffee and catch up. I'm drinking my second cup of coffee when a wild entitled kid and entitled mother appear. Oh, a baby! I smile, but go back to reading the news and sipping my coffee. When I look up, the entitled kid is trying to pick up my sleeping baby. I panicked, obviously. No.
Oh, she wasn't hurting her. I want to hold the baby.
She's sleeping, and you're too little to hold her, honey. She's heavy.
Oh, just let her hold her. My kid is very mature.
Well, she's not a baby doll. No.
You don't have to be a witch.
Excuse me? During this time, the entitled kid tried to pick up my baby and woke her up, so she started crying. I pick her up and start shushing her. Now see what you did? Leave us alone.
She just wants my daughter to hold her.
Then the crazy mother tries to grab my baby. What the hell? Get away from me! I turn to keep my baby away.
Just let her hold her.
At this point, she keeps trying to steal my baby. So I scream, "Help!" And I end up open hand punch her in the nose. At this point, the coffee shop employees jump in and pull her away. One of them says that they have called the police. The entitled mother's nose is bleeding and the entitled kid is sobbing. And the employees ask us to stay and wait for the police to arrive.
Good! She assaulted me and traumatized my child.
My baby is still crying, so I give her food, aka me.
What? She's exposing herself to a child. Pedophile.
I ignore her, and my baby finally calms down. The police arrive and ask us each what happened.
And she yells, "She exposed herself to my daughter, and she assaulted me."
Me, scared that I'm going to jail, say, "This isn't true. She tried to steal my baby and I was just protecting her." Luckily, the coffee place had cameras, and at the end of the day, she got arrested for attempted kidnapping. And I have to go to court for it next month. Chapter 2. We go to court on April 14th for the criminal charges against the entitled mother for attempted kidnapping. I did not expect to update before then, but then this happened. Me and my baby went to the park this morning. We got back around 11 AM and there was a man standing on our porch, looking lost. My baby was in her stroller sleeping. I put my hand in my purse and onto my mace. "Can I help you?" He says I'm looking for X. I have a package for her. And he pulls out a thick envelope. I'm her, I can take it. I take the envelope and as soon as it's in my hands and I sign for it, the guy rips off his fake mustache and delivery guy hat, revealing his real identity. A legal intern.
Cool. You're being sued, by the way. Good luck.
Yep, that's right. I'm being sued by the entitled mother. Well, apparently I did $25,000 in damage. And this poor envelope was about 10 million pages detailing how she's suing me for everything that is wrong in her life. The entitled mother has a broken nose. The entitled kid has PTSD from the incident. I'm also being sued for slander and character assassination. Because how dare I say she tried to steal my baby? Of course, at the end she said she would be willing to settle out of court if I would drop the criminal charges. Well, I took that letter to my lawyer and he said the judge would let her out of court, especially if the criminal trial goes in our favor, which is basically guaranteed. Chapter 3. This chapter opens April 15th, 2019, approximately 9:30 AM. We are at our local courthouse. Me and Mr. Husband had dropped off our baby at his mother's. I had considered bringing her and breastfeeding while the entitled mother was on the stand just to irritate her, but I did not think an 8-month-old would be able to sit quietly for that long. Instead, I bought my 384-month-old husband. We went to the courthouse and I will admit I was nervous. We took our seats behind the prosecutor and we were chatting with her. And the entitled mother enters with her lawyer. If looks could kill, I would be dead. The judge and jury enter and we are ready to get started. As we are getting started, the judge is interrupted by the entitled dad and the entitled kid entering the courtroom, and possibly the noisiest way to enter a room. Disclaimer: these were 3 very long, very stressful days, so I will be paraphrasing a lot. The judge says, "Entitled mother, you are charged with attempted kidnapping, first-degree assault, disturbing the peace, and disorderly conduct. How do you plead?"
Your Honor, I'm innocent. In fact, I'm outraged that I stand accused of wrongdoing and…
Hey, please sit down.
But…
Now.
And she sits.
We will now proceed to opening statements. The prosecutor lays out the case, succinctly explaining that the entitled mother was a dangerous woman who attempted to rape a small baby from its mother's arms. Then the entitled mother starts screaming,
No, this isn't true."
"Quiet!" the judge yells. The prosecutor wraps up his opening statement in under about 5 minutes, explaining that the whole situation was caught on tape and that the evidence will speak for itself. The defense's opening statement was about 40 minutes long. Her lawyer talked so long that after they concluded, the judge dismissed us for the day. We come back the second day, and before the trial starts, my husband goes and grabs us a cup of pure caffeine from a booth in the courthouse. He's putting his cream and sugar in it when the entitled dad approaches.
"Hey man, how are you doing?"
Fine."
"This whole mess is crazy."
"Yep."
"What will happen to my daughter if her mom goes to jail? It's not good for a kid."
"Yeah, that's rough, sorry."
"Well, you could tell your wife to drop the charges, you know, do what's best for the kids."
"Yeah, I'm not going to do that."
"Come on man, be reasonable."
"Well, if your wife was reasonable, we wouldn't even be here."
"Screw you, N-word."
And my husband just walks away. The second day of court starts. Prosecution lays out the evidence, including the tape, calls, witnesses, and all that prosecution stuff. After the witness's testimony, finally it was my turn to testify and be questioned. I told my story for the prosecution, then this foolishness ensued. Their entitled lawyer asks,
"It seems like you were the first to raise your voice. Would you say that is accurate?"
"I suppose so."
"So that would make you the instigator."
"I don't think…"
"You claim that the entitled mother assaulted you."
"Yes."
"Did the entitled mother strike you at any point during this altercation?"
"Well, not exactly strike."
"Did you strike the entitled mother at any point?"
"Yes, but it was too…"
The jury will notice that this woman has admitted to not only being the instigator, but also the aggressor in this situation.
After the prosecution lays out their evidence, it is the defense's turn. It is at this point the entitled mother takes a stand. The entitled mother tells her twisted version of events, according to her. Her daughter had seen my baby and had approached me to tell me how beautiful my baby was. In response to this totally innocent interaction, I began verbally abusing the entitled kid. She attempted to calm me, but this backfired when I violently snatched up my baby, and she couldn't help but notice that it was very unlikely that my baby was mine. Seeing an unstable woman snatching up an innocent, probably kidnapped baby, the entitled mother just had to intervene. And when she did, I viciously attacked her. So day 3 is verdict and sentencing. On the charge of attempted kidnapping, the jury decided that there was not enough evidence to conclude that she wanted to kidnap the baby. Not guilty. On the charge of assault, The jury was not convinced by her lawyer's attempts to demonize me. Guilty. Disturbing the peace and disorderly conduct, the tapes and witnesses lead to a guilty verdict. And now we get to the part you all have been waiting for. Sentencing. The entitled mother was sentenced to 18 months of probation, 50 hours of community service, 30 hours of anger management, and $730 in fines. This all goes on her criminal record, and if she violates her probation or does not do what is required, she will spend those 18 months in prison. While I know many of us were hoping for jail time, I am satisfied with this outcome, and I personally think it's fair. We have to go back to court in a few months for the civil case. Next story. Entitled parent tries to kick my daughter and niece off the air hockey table. Happened a few hours ago when I, 39 female, took my daughter, 7 years old, and niece, 6 years old, out to our local skate rink for a school holiday. Girls' Day / older sister club, as my sister could not get her older girl into daycare. First thing I thought after it happened was, wow, I finally have something to post here. At this skate rink, there are a number of games set off to the side, like the Magic Claw and an air hockey table. My daughter asks if she can spend some of her pocket money on air hockey, since the claws are such a rib job more. I've taught her well. She and my niece roll up, pop in our $2 coin for the game, and this game ends with one of you gets to 6. We've been playing for a couple of minutes, when a younger boy, maybe 5 or 6, he was very little but articulate, comes up and tries to push my daughter out of the way, saying, "Let me have a turn." Daughter stops the buck, tells the kiddo that she and her cousin are playing, so no. Kid appeals to me. "No, sorry. The girls are having a turn. If you want to play, it costs $2. If you don't have someone to play with, one of my girls will play with you, but you'll have to get your adult to pay for your turn." And the kid still tried to push my niece out of the way, so I scoop between and get a bit firmer and say no. The girls have paid for their turn. After they are done, you can have a turn, but it will cost you or your adult $2. And the kid runs off. And the next minute I hear, "Excuse me." The entitled mother taps my arm. "My son wants to play." Okay, he can go on when my girls are done. It's $2 a turn. And I point at the coin slots. "But he wants to go now." I understand, but my girls have paid for their turn and they are playing. Again, welcome to go next, but that was our only $2 coin. I don't have $2. How unfortunate. And the entitled mother stares at me. Also not my problem. And she continues to stare. Thankfully, my daughter hit 6 and the table turned off and we escaped onto the rink, since the entitled mother wasn't skating either. And the girls have been too busy trying to guard their goals to notice the entitled mother. Next story. That is not my tanker truck lady. Short backstory. I just got off a 14-hour shift. I work for a utility company, and this took place about 5 AM in a smaller suburb of the Twin Cities in January. I stopped for gas at the local Stop and Rob and a few snacks for my upcoming shift at 2 PM. Another 14-hour shift, lots of overtime. I pull into the station and the tanker truck is there for a delivery. I got out, fueled up my run-of-the-mill boring box on wheels, and started to go into the store. About 5 feet from the entrance, I heard a slight squealing of tires and watched the monstrosity of an SUV. Lincoln Navigator, I thought. I heard it roar around the tanker and parked about 1 foot behind it. I was already beat tired and did not really think anything of it, since people do drive a little nuts around here. I'm in the store looking at what kind of garbage I can eat for the day and maybe a couple energy drinks for later that night. This is when the fun begins. A crazy lady starts yelling at me. "Hey! Hey you! Hey!" I turned my head to find a lady staring right at me. "You need to move your truck." I had a puzzled look on my face. "Yes, I'm talking to you. You need to move your truck right now." Me pointing to the salt-crusted SUV at pump 5. "You mean that car?" "No, the tanker truck. It's blocking the tire pump. My tire light is on and I need to fill it up now. I'm in a big hurry." Funny thing is those tire fillers have about a 20-foot retractable hose on them. That's not my semi. I just watched you walk inside 30 seconds ago." "Yeah, that's not my truck." Now I'm beginning to wonder why she thought I was a truck driver. We probably have on the same high-vis yellow coats with silver reflective stripes. That's just as common as plays orange during deer season. "That's not my truck. I don't work here, and get away from me." At this point, one of the local sheriff deputies walks in right before I say get away from me. I see them here quite a bit in the morning to get coffee. He walks over and asks, "Is there a problem here?" "This guy needs to move his truck. It's blocking the tire pump. I'm in a big hurry and one of my tires is low." I say my car is over there on pump 5. And I don't know why this lady thinks I'm the semi-driver. At this point, I'm wondering where the driver is. Either in the back office doing paperwork or destroying one of the toilets in the restroom. He says to the crazy lady, "Okay, show me what you're talking about." They both go outside and walk to the back of the tanker truck. As for me, I pay for gas and my snacks, and here comes a truck driver out of the restroom. It's probably going to need power washing. As I'm walking out to my car, I see the deputy pointing to the back of her car, and they were talking about something. I couldn't really hear them. They walked back inside the store just as the truck driver was walking out. Yep, he was wearing a similar high-vis coat. I put the snacks in my car, and now curiosity has struck me. I walked over to the crazy lady's SUV and saw that it had whiskey plates on them. Maybe it's her, maybe it's her husband, I don't know. Then I saw it, and I couldn't believe my eyes. The license plates showed October 2018. They were 14 months expired. I got a good laugh from that, and I hope she got a ticket for expired taps. I eventually went home and got my deserved rest.
And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.